solutions to the issue of childhood obesity, to address climate change, to educate and build our workforce, to develop low and affordable income housing for the workers we need to keep in New Hampshire, and for our vastly growing elderly population, and much, much more. The issues have gotten so complex over the years. The squeeze is on also to keep up with technology. Nonprofits are stretching to find funds to build in new technology to help them more efficiently serve clients and communities, mobilize and organize volunteers, and to leverage technology to raise money, and much more. 4 years ago, only 4% of the nonprofit sector took part in online fundraising and what they were calling the new crowdsourcing. This past year, 46% took part in that. And we're also seeing more opportunities for the everyday person to be able to give and connect to people and causes. For example, Minnesota's Give to the Max Day inspired 36,000 donors to give $14 million to more than 3,400 nonprofits in an 8-hour time period. So the squeeze is on for us to catch up with technology. And the squeeze is on because we're adapting to major shifts in funding. Government funding is down 25% to 30%. It's not expected to go up. Hopefully it will. Giving is down 24%. This is climbing up since the recession when it was down 27%. And many corporations in New Hampshire have moved their headquarters out of state. And so there's shifts in how much they fund and what are their focus of their funding. And finally, nonprofits are experiencing a squeeze to recruit and leverage and engage the talents of the next generation. We need to change these jobs and we need to make them very desirable for the next generation because 6 years ago they said 1 in 4 nonprofit executive directors would retire in the next 5 years. Well, the recession postponed that. But it's back on in full swing. Our website tells us every week more and more jobs are being posted for executive directors. And it's critical that we develop organizations fit for the challenge of the future. For nonprofit leaders themselves, this year requires quite a delicate balancing act as much as at stake. Balancing the needs to the immediate needs coming through the door while simultaneously building whole new approaches to their business models. The needs, despite the slowly rebounding economy, continue to climb. Today in Manchester and over the year, 130,000 individuals will rely on the New Hampshire Food Bank for food assistance. More than 48,000 New Hampshire residents will rely on community mental health centers for treatment, and 12,000 of them are children. And more than 4,000 seniors just in this county will rely this year on a nonprofit for a meal on wheels. The funding requires nonprofits and their boards to be run by the hardiest, most strategic, and nimble people. The good news is it always has been. Much of the change we